The sea has always been a source of adventure and livelihood for mankind, but it also holds the memories of countless men and women who gave their lives serving their country. From the Revolutionary War to the present day, sailors have faced difficult challenges while saving their country at sea. Unfortunately, some have made the ultimate sacrifice, losing their lives in service to our nation. What happens then? How are soldiers buried in the ocean? The United States Navy has a long and proud tradition of honoring its sailors who have made the ultimate sacrifice for their country by giving them a burial at sea. In this video, we'll take a closer look at what happens during a burial at sea, how it's carried out, and the significance of the ceremony. Before we begin, I want you to stay on top of the knowledge game of Navy and aircraft updates. And to do that, just click on subscribe and press the bell icon right now. And I welcome you to the world of Navy. The Burial at Sea Ceremony. Not all deceased individuals qualify for a burial at sea. To be eligible, the deceased must be an active duty uniformed officer, a retired Navy sailor, or an honorably discharged veteran. Burials at sea have long been a revered tradition of the Navy, dating back to the earliest days of seafaring. The actual burial at sea ceremony is a solemn and respectful occasion where funeral attendees are required to dress in their Navy uniform of the day. The burial at sea ceremony begins with the adjutant or officer of the deck announcing, "All hands bury the dead," to the ship's crew. If feasible, the ship will come to a complete stop, and all flags on board will be lowered to half-mast in a gesture of respect. Casket bearers, a firing party, and a bugler will assemble on deck and be joined by other crew members. Each ceremony is tailored according to the individual's rank, service history, and personal wishes so that they can receive an appropriate and respectful tribute for their service and sacrifice. During the burial itself, a chaplain may lead prayers or recite verses from scripture, as well as say words of comfort for those mourning the deceased. The casket is then slowly lowered into the depths of the sea, either by crane or gun carriage, with honors given according to rank, such as 3 volleys being fired for officers. As it descends beneath, flowers may be scattered over its path, which serves as both an expression of final farewells from grieving friends and family, as well as a sign of respect from all present at this special gathering. Afterward, there may be a time to pay respects individually or collectively before heading back on board the ship, in many cases not long after having set sail, in order to maintain course despite this monumentary pause in navigation. The process of burial at sea. Initially, the body is carefully placed in a weighted canvas, shroud tied with lime, and secured with a piece of canvas or burlap. The weighted bag is often filled with about 140 pounds of weight to ensure that the body descends to the ocean floor. The sailor's personal effects, such as dog tags, wedding rings, and other jewelry, are removed and placed into a personal effects bag, which is then attached to the shroud. With the body prepared, the burial at sea ceremony commences on the ship's deck, often under a vast sky and surrounded by the rhythmic pulses of ocean waves. A chaplain leads crew members in heartfelt prayers to honor their fallen comrade. Following this ceremony, the body draped in canvas litter is transported to fantail, where it's slowly lowered into the sea as crew members present salutes and the ship's bells tolls in solemn farewell. In some instances, burial at sea involves the scattering of the deceased ashes, which are placed in a biodegradable urn and dispersed into waters embracing the vastness of oceans. Burial on land. While a burial at sea is a unique and solemn ceremony reserved for members of the U.S. Navy, it's worth noting that not all fallen sailors are buried at sea. In fact, some sailors may be buried on land in accordance with their own wishes or the wishes of their families. A burial on land may involve a traditional funeral service with a casket and a graveside ceremony. Or it may involve a cremation with the ashes scattered or interred in a cemetery. Like a burial at sea, a burial on land also involves a set of customs and traditions that are deeply ingrained in military culture. For example, a flag is draped over the casket during the funeral service, and a flag folding ceremony is performed in honor of the deceased sailor's service. The 21-gun salute is also a common tradition, with the rifle team firing 3 volleys of blanks as a final salute to the fallen sailor. Regardless of whether a sailor is buried at sea or on land, honoring their service and sacrifice is an integral part of military culture. These ceremonies serve as a reminder of the bravery and selflessness exhibited by those who have served our country in the U.S. Navy and in other branches of the military. We must pay tribute to the brave men and women of the U.S. Navy who sacrificed their lives for us all and stand proudly behind our country's heroes. Leave your thoughts on this topic in the comments below. And as you know, an aircraft carrier is a giant behemoth of the sea. But do you know about the smallest room on an aircraft carrier? And have you ever wondered what it's like to live inside that smallest room of an aircraft carrier? To find out, click on this video right here, the smallest room on an aircraft carrier. That's all for this video, so make sure to click on this video to find out more about the adventurous life inside this minuscule room. So what are you doing? Click it now.